Now from Atlanta News First Plus, this is Sports Tonight.
Oh, it's that time again. Welcome to Sports Tonight here on a Thursday evening. I'm sports producer Scott Pennyman here with sports producer Lee Smith. Lee, how you feeling?
I'm good, man. I'm good. It's been a while since been on the show, and ready to get Thursday going on a good note.
Now, are you feeling good because you watched The Dream last night on Peachtree Sports Network and Peachtree TV? The Atlanta Dream win their opener. 92-81 over the Los Angeles Sparks. And I tell you what, that game went about as well as I could have ever envisioned it when you look at how things went down.
You mean how you could have dreamt it?
Yes, I knew it. That's a good one. That's a good one.
No?
I thought it was good.
No?
Okay. Despite what Brett says in the background, I think that was a good one, all right? It went better than
what, you don't like dad? Who doesn't like dad jokes? Come on.
That was a good one, though. But just think about it, though. I mean, I think you expected Ryan Howard to be as good as she was. Ryan Howard's an all-star player.
Yeah.
She had 25 points. Ryan Howard's going to be Ryan Howard. Look, they pulled Tina Charles from out of retirement. Like Tina Charles.
And she got double-double.
21 and 14.
She's just hanging out. Double-doubles.
That's an excellent double-double. I mean, for me, that was a factor. I thought Tina Charles was just going to be like a veteran off the bench, like somebody you plug in different spots.
She's playing, man.
Right.
She's full tilt.
She's full tilt. I mean, she got the
all
most
gas,
minutes.
no brakes, man.
She got the most minutes on the team last night, 32 minutes. I mean, I didn't think it was going to be that. I thought it was going to be,
hey, man, you don't put a legend on the bench, right?
I see. Coach Wright is
look at LeBron. He ain't on the bench.
I didn't even know.
He's not playing, but that's a different story.
I didn't realize that Tina Charles still had that in her, I guess is what I'm saying.
Hey, well, she did, at least for game one.
Yeah, I mean, look, I don't expect her to get 21 and 14 for the rest of the season. But if Tina Charles can look even halfway that good the entire season, this season can be totally different.
They're going to have a great outcome, right?
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be a pretty good season because that's unexpected. Like I say, I thought she was just going to be a veteran off the bench, pick her spots, come in and pitch in when needed. She was a main, let's work the ball into her and let her go.
Take what you can get, right? You take what you can get. And if that's what you get, you're going to have a really good season.
Yeah, I mean, I think you probably couldn't have asked for a better start. I mean, when you look at the Sparks, they got kind of some young players on that team. Cameron Brink was their young rookie. And she's tall. I mean, when you look at it, she blocked some shots.
Yeah, man. I mean, they're basketball players.
Well, yeah. I mean, I didn't expect her to be like Gary Coleman or nothing. But I mean, but just
like 6'4", 6'5". I don't know how tall she is.
Think.
She could be even taller. I don't know.
Let me see how tall Cameron Brink is. I know she was number 2 overall pick for them. She's 6'4".
Yeah.
You know, so
that's tall, man.
Look, this is a pretty awesome first week for the WNBA. When you just think about everything, I mean, you got Caitlin Clark getting her welcome to the league this week. As they face Connecticut and Angel Reese last night. You know, she played her first game and it was kind of rough. So look, the young kids get to the WNBA and they're trying to find their way.
Yeah.
And then you got the old school vets like Tina Charles showing them how to get it done.
She was retired and just comes out of retirement, just decides she wants to have a double-double on night one.
21, not a 10 and 10 double-double, 11 and 10, a 21 and 14 double-double.
14 double-double.
That's different. You know, so look, Tina Charles is like, I don't know how, if you used to go to the park and play basketball back in the day, Lee. So when you're like a kid, and there's like that older person who's at the court who just schools the young kids all day long. They're just up there, and it seems like
they're not talking trash.
They ain't talking trash.
They're not super flashy. They win.
They just beat you.
They win like 10 in a row.
Right.
Like, what's going on? Like, this isn't supposed to happen.
And you're like the young kid, and you're like, hey, well, go home. You know what I'm saying?
But
you're
there's
beating
also
everybody.
a reason, that she's a WNBA legend.
That's true. And she showed that.
There you go.
She definitely showed that. So also this week, obviously, we got Falcons and OTAs, and earlier this week, Kirk Cousins. That was the whole big thing, and you were out there, right, Lee?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was the big thing whether Captain Kirk was
Captain Kirk,
was feeling down about the Falcons taking a quarterback in the top 10, and look, like I said, Kirk Cousins doesn't seem like the kind of guy.
Man. He's a pro, and you know what? It was kind of funny about that. I didn't even realize this. He said back in 2007, when he was at Michigan State, they had signed another pretty famous quarterback in that class at Michigan State.
Let me see if I can guess.
Who
it.
was
Hold up. Michigan State, because
Michigan
obviously
State.
I'm a Big Ten guy because that's
Big
where I'm
arm.
from. So I watch. Hold on, Michigan State. Kirk Cousins was there.
This person has won a Super Bowl, actually.
I should know this. It's Nick Foles.
Yeah.
Yep, I knew. Okay, because I remember Foles started there, and then went to Arizona, I think, later.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. See. You thought you had me there. You thought you had me.
No. I didn't even put two and two together. Well, I'm not really a Big Ten football.
Yeah, I
guy.
covered some Big Ten. I covered
I'm
a lot
more
of
of
Big
an
Ten.
SEC guy.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, so it's because he said he's basically been having to battle every stop he's ever been to.
Yeah, even in Washington.
Whether it was even in college at Michigan State and Nick Foles, and then he's got to go earn something over at Washington.
Yeah, because they drafted RG3 number 2 overall in the same draft. I mean, really, when they drafted Kirk Cousins was supposed to be probably like a good backup for a lot of years in the NFL. They thought RG3 was going to be the future of that organization. Turns out they did draft their quarterback.
Turns out if you run 15 times a game, you're going to get hurt pretty fast.
So that, that spelled the end of RG3's career.
Yeah.
Within a couple years, really it was kind of gone before we even, before it even. When I think about RG3 and Andrew Luck's career, which was the same year in 2012 when they were drafted 1 and 2, I just wonder, like, was RG3 and Andrew Luck real, or were they just a dream we all had? Because they kind of just came and just went.
Well, Andrew Luck I know was for real.
Yeah, I mean
RG3 might have been more of a dream, but Andrew Luck was definitely real.
Yeah, so I mean, but look, the Falcons obviously entering the Kirk Cousins era, however many years he's going to play. You got Michael Penix out there, so that leaves a lot of questions for people to have about, the future of that position. Why'd you take a young quarterback like that? And I'm pretty sure, I wasn't there, but you were there, but I'm pretty sure Raheem Morris had to answer some of those questions.
Definitely did. He definitely did.
All right, well, I tell you what. Let's get out to Raheem,
new
Falcons head coach. I guess I'm not going to call him a new head coach anymore. He's had his job for a few months.
Yeah.
But Falcons head coach Raheem Morris this week out at OTAs to talk about quarterbacks and a whole lot more. Oh, I'm sorry.
I want to start off by saying my condolences to the Smith family. Obviously, Kyle, you guys know how much he means to me. He means to this organization, to Mr. Blank and Terry and I in particular, got a chance to work with his dad when he came to the Commanders for a small amount of time in Washington, and being around him and seeing what he was for the city of San Diego, and being a winningest GM and their history, and having so much respect for him and being able to bounce ideas off him when he definitely came with us in Washington for a while was an outstanding experience, and I'm just fortunate enough to be a part of that family and be able to meet him, and just wanted to say that. And with that, I'll open up questions for you guys.
Yeah, Coach, you all got to 90 after the tryout signings. Now you kind of see how the roster is settled. What's your vision for the defense as you got the people lined up, and the attention that you all paid to the front seven in the draft?
The vision doesn't change. We kind of talked about it a little bit, Led. We talked about those parts being movable parts, and just getting those guys all in the same room and being able to get some youth in that room. We got some aging veterans in there, obviously, with Grady still playing at a high level and D.O. playing at a high level. To be able to add big people with length in that room, we thought was a big, high priority for us. And to be able to do that thing, we were very excited coming out the draft with that happening. And now you get a chance to see those guys in the field together and how that's going to form and how that's going to mold out. It's going to be a lot of fun. You'll have a lot of competition. Obviously, those guys are tough to grade up until you talk about training camp when the physicality of everything begins. But that'll be a lot of fun for us to get going with some techniques, some of the small, minute details that you have to get done up front. I can't wait to get those guys going. It's a big picture vision for those guys when you're talking about training camp being a real goal setting.
And tomorrow's now kind of a national holiday, the schedule release. Any thoughts on what you all might be facing in schedule-wise when that comes out tomorrow?
A little less exciting probably for coaches, because we're always one game at a time anyway. But it's always exciting just for the National Football League, just in general. We found a way to make it another event, and I know it's exciting for you guys, and it's exciting for us to be out and doing those things, and exciting for our community, more importantly, and all of our guys. Our office will have a bunch of fun. I'm sure Tori will have a bunch of fun, and whatever they do, because they're so creative up there in that department. So I look forward to looking at that and doing the stuff that we do in our department, our video department as well.
And lastly, for me, can we get a weekly update on quarterback Kirk Cousins? We'll be speaking to him later today, and I know we've seen some passes on the team website. He's throwing the ball and doing little dropbacks and so forth.
Yeah, well, you get a chance to come out to practice today, Led, right? I believe you get a chance to watch the whole practice, everybody but you. And we'll get out and you'll get a chance to see him. But he's doing everything that we're asking him to do right now. Obviously, we're limiting him with some of the stuff that we call, with the movement and things of that nature. But he's doing all the drop back stuff. He's in the pocket. He's able to handle the handoffs. You've seen him pretty much execute everything you would execute, and we're treating him that way. Now, obviously the tempo up front is a little different in the offseason. And people that affect the quarterback and how they get around the quarterback, we know it's not the same as it would be in a game, but we're really excited on where he's at in his progress. We're really excited where he's at in his mental capacity to hold the offense and what he's able to do and bringing it all out for our guys. And really, him as a teacher is really the exciting point right now. When he's out there and he goes to his progressions and he's able to throw a ball and he's able to coach somebody to the left side if he might have let something go to the right, just on how it should look and how we wanted to look. And I think those things, those details, those small details are the things that we're seeing right now, and it's really looking good.
Yeah, Raheem, when you do a deep dive into him, you see what it is from afar. But when it comes to Kirk, what do you appreciate more now in person that you get to see him interact with him that you didn't do from afar?
It's hard for me to even answer that question because I've known him for so long. In 2012, he was probably, I don't want to say the same guy because he's matured and grown so much, but he was very similar when it came to the attention to detail and his application to his work ethic and what he's going to do every single day. So I'm still seeing that, and I get a chance to get that back in the building, but I see the confidence now. He is so comfortable in himself, and he's so comfortable being himself that it just really attracts his teammates and his leadership style. So I really think those are the best part for me to see in the maturity of the comfort in the human, him being the guy, him being the leader, him being the person that's able to use his voice. All of those things really have factored in for me.
Hey, Coach, just to kind of follow up on that, when you think about Kirk and his personality as a leader and against the backdrop of teaching a younger quarterback, what's been your experience? Not all quarterbacks want to share all their knowledge. You see that as a dynamic working out well with Kirk and Michael?
I think the oldness really belongs to Michael when it comes to those things. Kirk's trying to win a Super Bowl, right? Kirk is in full-blown preparation mode to set the Atlanta Falcons up for the best success that they can possibly have. And I think you get no better person to sit behind than a Kirk Cousins type of guy. And obviously, they're probably better, arguably, on other people's teams, but I'm talking about the one on our team, right? And I just think it's a great experience for Michael. And I think he'll learn a lot from watching him move in silence with his guys. And he'll learn on the run because really it's the empathy and the humility of Michael that's going to come out more when it comes to learning those type of things. And I think that's the most important part of it all. Like everybody wants to make Kurt, have to tell him what to do, but really he's showing him what to do by his everyday movements and his actions.
Raheem, I asked this question knowing that Kirk is a veteran,
yes,
professional. He knows how this business works. Having said that, you drafted his replacement, and he wasn't happy about it. Do you see that as a situation that you have to manage?
I think it's my job probably to manage everything. I got to manage the expectations from the fans and wanting to do something quicker than you want to do it, right? But we really had a plan going to this thing, and Kurt's our quarterback, and that'll play out as it plays out. And we got a guy in the building that we hope can be our potential guy moving on in the future. And I really love both of the people, and it's really about the people when you go look at these types of people. We invest in people first, just from an overall organizational standpoint. And these two people, I feel great about it. You might not necessarily like the initial goal, the initial reaction of what is going to happen, but if you sit down and you go through the process, you talk to enough people, you figure out what the goals are, and we get it on the line, and let's go to work.
Switching to a different veteran, Grady Jarrett, I know that he's well on the road to recovery, but in your conversations with him as of late, how hungry is he to get back out there, and kind of where is he in his recovery?
With Grady, it's really funny. It's not even a conversation. It's almost a look in his eye. I attended a rookie community event with him last night that he was at, and just listened to him talk about his passion for Atlanta and his Grady gives and the things that he does for us. It's just a reflection of what we left and what you miss about Grady and guys like that. And I just know what he wants to do for this city and how passionate he is about winning for this city. Right now, obviously, he won't be out there today. He's still recovering from his knee issue, but he is. And with that being said, that reminds me to tell Led about all the injuries. But, Bijan won't be out there, right? He's got the ankle. And obviously our rookie running back won't be out there. We've talked about that already. But we expect those guys for our mandatory minicamp. But with Grady, that passion and what he's able to do just with the look in his eye is really special. And with his young guys and being able to train those guys and talk to those guys last night and to be able to address a room and just to be here, his presence is huge. It's really Aaron Donald-like, and I don't want to be disrespectful to Aaron. We talked about this a lot when we were together and how much respect we have for Grady and how much respect he had for Grady. But that presence is really special when you have that in that room.
What have you seen out of Clark Phillips so far through this process? He had a strong end of the season.
Really excited about Clark. He has had elite movement put on tape. This is a hard camp for defensive players. Stay up, don't hit them, stay off the ground, don't cause the confrontation. But he's done a really nice job with elite movement. He's done a really nice job with mirroring, matching. He's done a great job of putting the work in an individual in order to align himself to throw a great training camp. And I'm really excited about the young man and the player on what he potentially can do.
How the new special teams the way you practice in terms of the amount of time devoted to that and maybe looking at different skill guys for certain roles?
Yeah, I tried that. I had this great idea. I was going to use somebody else to be the kickoff guy. That failed miserably. That was one of my first failures here, but we'll see how that goes. But, putting the ball in the landing zone, you got to practice that stuff. You got to do some different things with some of the kickers that we have. Koo is a phenomenal trick kick guy, which you can look on YouTube and see him do some of those things. But he could do some of those things. You can see the kickoff going down and how it's got to be retaught to everybody, about when you can move, when you can't move, where your foot has to be. All of those things are going down right now with Marquise. And I wouldn't say I put more time into it. It's just that's what the kickoff part or the kickoff return part has been dedicated to, just teaching the guys the new rules, teaching the guys the new emphasis. And like Marquise Williams, you can't be around a more detailed guy just in general. So, talking about a guy who was working with his gunners and had them run off the field and get inside the numbers and go back and get lined up, every single one of them in his own drill just to emphasize the point of the rules. So I'm really fired up where he is in the kickoff rule. I'm really fired about the detail and the amount of energy he's put into it. You got to give the credit to really the special teams coordinator across the league, who all, put their heads together and got this play back in. And I'm actually excited about it.
Quick follow-up. Who was back there and why did the experiment fail?
Oh, we had a little tryout in phase 2 on who can kick the ball into the landing zone. And, man, it was awful. It was, see these great athletes not be able to kick the ball was unbelievable. But I should have known better.
It was more the kicking part as opposed to the return.
Oh, it was the kicking part.
All right, Lee, so, obviously the NFL season, we have a long summer and then things will get into full swing. Of course, this is always a big week for the NFL because it was schedule release week. Everyone looks forward to that. It's not really a huge deal to me personally, but it's always nice to see what the wrinkles the NFL have as far as.
Well, you're missing the biggest part of this.
What's the biggest part?
Every team, they have their own in-house social media department.
That's true.
That makes all the fun schedule these videos.
That's true.
Did you have a favorite? Part. Did you see any? Did you see the Falcons?
I did check theirs.
They did an NFL Street version. It's pretty cool.
Right.
It's pretty good.
I'm gonna go back and watch every team's now. Now that you said that,
it was pretty good because I remember growing up, NFL Street was like.
NFL Street.
God, it was so fun.
NFL Street. That was a good game. NFL Street. My brother used to play
on
that.
PlayStation.
Dude. My brother used to play NFL Street. That was always a pretty dope game.
It brought me back. It brought me back. I was like, man, this is because I think they're bringing the game back this year. That's why
Well, look,
brought it back on.
I'm all for it. They're bringing college football back too, so why not, right?
Yeah.
But it's always, the thing about NFL schedule release. Obviously everyone pays attention to the primetime games. Now, speaking of primetime games, the Falcons themselves, they're going to be all over primetime to start the season. So look at that. The first 5 weeks of the season, 3 of those games will be in front of a national audience. Now, that kind of surprised me a little bit because it is good, but I don't necessarily think of the Falcons as a team that the nation wants to jump into. But you see what happens when you get a quarterback? You get a quarterback and all of a sudden they don't mind putting you on national TV.
Imagine that.
So, they'll open up against the Steelers week 1. But then, they have national TV games. They're at Philly on ESPN for Monday Night Football.
That's going to be good.
They're at home against the look at that one, Kansas City Chiefs.
The Chiefs are coming to the Benz.
They're coming to the Benz. That'll be on NBC. And then a few weeks later, on Prime Video Thursday night, they'll play Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Baker Mayfield in Tampa Bay. So, so look, the nation, obviously, we're not the only ones making a big deal about the Falcons. Maybe the nation, maybe they're telling us something here. They think the Falcons are going to be maybe a little special.
Well, and they play Dallas.
Oh, yeah. So, look, it's really kind of hard when you think about the NFL schedule because I don't know what a tough schedule is or a not so tough schedule because
they haven't played the game yet. You don't know how good every team is. Yeah,
we don't know how good every team's going to be. We don't know who's going to go down in preseason.
But that's going to be a huge game regardless. The Chiefs coming into town and Dallas coming into town are going to be gigantic games.
For sure. Maybe those are games that you'll pick to shoot. No. Who knows? You'll be busy, But,
I don't know, man.
Right, you'll be busy with.
I'm
with
telling
UGA
you, that Saturday,
right?
Sunday grind back to back.
Yeah, that's tough. I know it's always tough. It's grueling, but NFL.com picked their list of top 10 primetime games. So I'll go all the way to the top here. They're picking the Ravens and the Chargers for some reason as the top primetime game of the season. But some of these other matchups,
with
though,
the Harbaugh brothers,
that's what it is. Okay, I was racking my brain as to why that was considered to be a top matchup. Okay, so that's the Harbaugh brothers, but obviously, the Jets are painted all over the national TV schedule. Now, let's hope Aaron Rodgers is actually there for these games, unlike last year when they.
Let's hope he doesn't get hurt.
Right, four plays into the season, right? Let's hope he can at least last 5 plays into the season.
Only the Jets.
Right. I felt sorry for him, honestly, because
to me, that feels like a Browns move. That feels like something that could happen to the Cleveland Browns.
You had to go there, didn't you? Had to go there. Saying. And I was about to go there myself. I was about
I know.
to say.
I preempted it, though.
I
knew what you were going to do. I already knew what was about to come out your mouth.
Look, as a fan of an organization that has suffered so much with the quarterback position, I felt bad for them. My heart went out to the Jets because that was pretty disappointing to just see 4 plays in, their hopes and dreams go right down the toilet. Just 4 plays in. You know how excited everybody was with the Jets at that time? I was excited for them. And then to watch that, I was like,
hey,
that sucks, man.
You know what that is? That's professional sports.
It is. So, look, we just talked about professional sports. Now let's go back to college sports.
Okay.
UGA baseball starting a big weekend series against the University of Florida before they jump into the SEC tournament. Coach was talking about the team not wanting the team to lose their focus as they head into the SEC tournament because Florida, they're hovering around 500. They're not that great. They're coming into the season. They were expected to be a really good team. They were even expected to be.
They're probably the biggest disappointment of probably in the entire country. Yeah. Them and LSU actually. So
right, but UGA's head coach Wes Johnson. Not wanting the team to let their guard down heading to the SEC tournament. He cautioned everyone against, letting their guard down this weekend in this series. So let's hear from Coach Johnson, and also we'll hear from the great home run hitter, Charlie.
Mr. Everything, all-world.
The future
can smash a baseball 500 feet. Charlie Condon,
maybe a future Cleveland Guardian. I'm saying they got the number 1 overall pick, and he's projected by me to go number 1 overall.
It could be Charlie Condon. He could go number 1 overall.
Right. They say that's possible.
That's crazy to happen for Georgia baseball. It's like
that'd be dope.
That would be insane.
That'd be dope. He'd be smashing. I can see him now smashing tall home runs on a home run porch at Progressive Field. I can see it now.
Okay,
but anyway,
all right. Get to the sound.
Anyway, let's hear from Wes Johnson, and he'll talk about what they're going to be facing coming up this week.
I think the biggest challenge, as I tell the young people, it's in today's world. There's so much written on how to deal with failure. I think that's not become an issue with a lot of successful or teams that are trying to do some things they haven't done before. You got to learn how to deal with success. And, we get addicted to tomorrow really fast. And so the challenge, I think, when you start to look at, how do you get guys to win, or how does, a winning streak or whatever evolve, it's those players, those teams are really focused on just today and never get too far ahead of it. And that's something that, we work really hard at. Is being focused on just today. Like, that's all we're going to talk about. We're not talking about going to Hoover on Monday or anything like that. It's like, no, we got a game that starts at 6 o'clock on Thursday night right here.
Coach, you talk about you have such a phenomenal strategy towards the game, especially mentally. And so I'm curious, when you say all these great things, who was it? Was there a coach that you worked with when you worked your way up the ranks, or an MLB manager that's kind of helped shape your coaching approach today?
I read a lot of books. I love to read. My kids give me a hard time, call me a nerd. So I love to read. I love to study. I ask a lot of questions. Yeah, Rocco Baldelli, when I was with the Minnesota Twins, Rocco and I did a lot together. He taught me a lot. And then I've been fortunate to be around some really special people. Brent Strom for a long time, who's a world-renowned MLB pitching coach. So I've known Brent for a long time, and he's given me a lot of wisdom over the years.
Coach, going back to when you came in here and inherited this program, obviously convincing Charlie to stay was a big part of it. We realized that. But did you see in the pieces and everything that you had around you what has materialized this season?
You hope that your recruiting process and your system is somewhat okay.
Yeah.
That's what we really did. We have a system that I don't talk a lot about. I don't want people to exactly know what we're doing, but we have I like to think we have a really good system of what kind of players we're looking at. Some of those things are, I want players that can play multiple positions. You look at how many players we've had that have been all over the field. That was by design. It gives you what we call lineup flexibility, so that you can match up when you're facing a tough, classic example, Florida's guy who's going on Thursdays really, really hard on left-handers. So you're trying to get as many right-handed bats in the lineup as you can, and to do that, you got to have some position flexibility.
Can you reflect on the move to Corey to lead off? I know we're reminiscing a little bit now, but
sure.
was that just was that a move that you knew you had to make, or was that an experiment at the time?
No, we look at things that we joke about the Moneyball line. He gets on base, and we really wanted somebody who we felt good about getting on base in front of Charlie. That guy doesn't need to steal bases at all, because if he does, then that just opens the base up for them to put Charlie on. And so we didn't care if the guy could run or not, or was a great base runner. We just needed somebody who was going to give us a quality at bat, who at times, because Charlie's behind him, is going to get some fastballs if the count works in his favor. And we needed somebody who could hit anybody's fastball, we thought, in the country, and that's, all those things fit Corey.
Is Charlie the epitome of your recruiting pitch to future possible walk-ons?
Sure, right? But I think never confuse Charlie's mental approach to just anybody with some talent who you're trying to get to walk on, right? Everybody talks about, brings that up, and it's like, well, Charlie's special, right? Mentally, we know the physical talent, but to bring up Charlie to another potential walk-on is almost unfair, in my opinion. But you better have a special mind to do what Charlie did from a walk-on standpoint last weekend, and I think all you're seeing now is a real healthy Trey Phelps coming to the plate and doing some things we thought he could do.
There were some issues exploited at South Carolina with Goldstein having some problems at the plate. Is there any thought of moving Trey up in the order?
We're very matchup oriented. So if Dylan's not in the 3-hole, Friday or Thursday night against extreme tough left-hander, it's not because he's bad. It's because we think it's what puts us in the best position to win that game. So, Dylan's done fine. Hey, this game's hard. He's human.
All right, Lee, special bulletin before we get out of here. What's on your mind? We'll kind of do this together tonight. NCAA football's been announced. The release date for the video game that's been on hiatus for 11 years, July 19th. So folks around the country, be prepared for on July 19th, if you're a manager at any business across the country, to get a whole lot of call-offs that day, all right? There's going to be a whole lot of people calling in sick on July 19th.
The Black Friday come early?
I'm like smelling
Black Friday in July.
I'm smelling like a COVID wave coming around July 19th.
Oh, no.
Because there's going to be a lot of people who are going to be needing days off around July 19th Friday.
A lot of PTO that day.
It's going right into the weekend too. It's Friday, so it goes right into the weekend. So you're gonna have Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Yeah, that's gonna be the release date for NCAA 25. So enjoy.
You're telling me whoever came out with the release date is almost as good as whoever schedules these NFL games?
Exactly. I'm just saying they knew what they were doing. They knew what they were doing. So that's Sports Tonight here on a Thursday. Lee, it's always fun when we have a chance to do this. Yeah. We'll be right back at you tomorrow for more Sports Tonight.
See ya.
See ya.